Welcome to Military News YouTube channel. The Ukraine crisis is no longer a crisis and has become very complicated. The crisis in the region turns into a major conflict environment with the operations of the Russian army, which started around 5 a.m. local time on Thursday morning. From the Belarusian and Ukrainian border, Russian T-72 and T-90 tanks and special tank support armored trackers mounted on this T-72 chassis are entering the Ukrainian border, and explosions have been reported from many cities. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that it has neutralized the entire Ukrainian air defense system and the military infrastructures of the air bases. Immediately afterwards, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry confirmed this information. Russia's operations, which began at dawn on Thursday, are now turning into a visible invasion. At 5 a.m. local time on Thursday morning, President of the Russian Federation Vladimir Putin announced that he has launched a special operation. After this operation announcement, the world was shocked, and we have been following the events in Ukraine for 3 days without breathing. Russian armies are advancing deep into Ukraine on the border of Crimea, Belarus and Ukraine. The President of Ukraine confirmed this morning that Russian troops and heavy armored tanks are advancing towards the capital Kiev from the north, south and east. The Ukrainian army reported that there were clashes with the Russian army 18 miles from Kiev. Yesterday, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reported that Russian troops are 32 kilometers from Kiev. Ukraine woke up with heavy explosions on Friday and Saturday morning. In addition, explosions were heard from many Ukrainian cities in the morning hours. Currently, according to reports from the region, hundreds of tanks from the 90th Armored Division and 1st Armored Regiment of the Russian Army are headed towards Kiev. Meanwhile, Russian airborne troops are landing at military airbases near Kiev. For now, it was announced by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine that a military airbase near Ukraine was captured by Russia and another military base was lost. It was also reported that Chernobyl, the island of Zhezhemny and Melitopol were under Russian control. According to numerous reports, clashes are taking place in the east, west and south of Kiev. All this is happening within city limits now, says CNN's Clarissa Ward, but it doesn't seem to have reached the center. There's no sign of targeting residential areas yet, she says, but we're hearing a lot of explosions from many different directions. According to Reuters, Interfax Ukraine news agency reported that Russian forces tried to attack a power generation station, while the Ukrainian army repelled an attack on an army base in Kiev. The Ukrainian government also said it had stopped the Russian advance on Peremoy Street, which passes by the Berestyiska metro station, where heavy fighting has also been reported. The reports have not been independently verified. The attack appears to coincide with Zelensky's warning that he could see Russia attempt to attack the city tonight. 3 million people consider Kiev their home. Earlier, Zelensky posted a video from the streets in Kiev. Tonight they will launch an offensive. We all need to understand what awaits us. We have to endure tonight, he said. The fate of Ukraine is now being determined. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky gave a press briefing this morning and said his country will triumph over Russian forces. He said government forces still control Kiev and key points around the city. He said Ukrainian forces would win and criticized disinformation. In the final part of his speech, he said, "Please stop those who lie, those who try to lie to you, those who lie to us. We must stop this war. We can live together in peace as humans globally. Our army, our national guard, our national police, our territorial defense, our special service, citizens of Ukraine, please continue. We will win. Glory to Ukraine. We are successfully holding back enemy attacks," Zelensky said. "We know that we are defending our land and the future of our children. Kiev and key regions are controlled by our army. The invaders wanted to set up their puppets in our capital. They were not successful. A proper fight was going on in our streets. The enemy was using all their weapons, artillery, paratroopers, all their weapons. They are hitting residential areas. They are trying to destroy the energy infrastructure, and everyone should help us stop this invasion." After talks with EU leaders in recent days, including removing Russia from the SWIFT payment system, He said he believes Ukraine should be part of the EU and its citizens should have the same rights. The Ukrainian people deserve to be a member of the EU. And this will be a sign of your support for Ukraine. This discussion should be closed. We discussed this with European leaders today. All equipment and defense military aid is coming to Ukraine, and work is underway to separate Russia from SWIFT. I hope Hungary will have to support this decision. He asked people who could return to Ukraine to fight to do so, at every hour and place, in the city and in the town and in man. Wherever the enemy is killing our people, our armed forces are doing everything in their power to destroy the enemy. Cities and towns attacked from the air are standing. Well done. If you can destroy the invaders, please do it. Anyone who can return to Ukraine, please do. Please return. We will have a lot of work to do to rebuild our Ukraine. Anyone who can defend this abroad should do so in a unified way. Every Ukrainian friend who wants to join Ukraine to defend the country, please come, we will give you weapons. How this can be done will be revealed very soon. Everyone who defends Ukraine is a hero. He made another plea to the Russian people to help stop the war by putting pressure on Vladimir Putin and his government. Anti-war protesters have been arrested in Moscow and St. Petersburg in recent days. I want everyone in Russia to hear me. Everyone. Hundreds of captive soldiers here in Ukraine do not know why they were sent here to kill people or be killed. People need to tell the government why the war must be stopped. More people from your country will survive. Your citizens are expressing their opposition to this war. We know that many people in Russia are shocked by the brutality of the Russian government. This is the right response. I am grateful for this reaction. Meanwhile, a curfew will be imposed in Kiev from 1700 tonight. The city's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, said the stay-at-home order would last until 8 a.m. on Sunday. According to reports, everyone out there will be arrested. Also, the British Minister of the Armed Forces said that Russia had not achieved its initial goals and that the war outside Kiev was limited to Russian Special Forces units. Speaking to BBC Radio 4's Today programme, James Hiapi said that Russia's goals to capture key Ukrainian cities were not successful. He said he did not believe Britain's claims that Russia had taken the southeast city of Melitopol. Ukraine's resistance to Russian advance seems extraordinary. All of the first-day targets of Kharkiv, Kherson, Mariupol, Sumy and even Melitopol, which Russia claims to have captured by the Russians but we can't see anything about it, are still in the hands of Ukraine. We understand that on the outskirts of Kiev there were overnight clashes, only Russian Spetsnaz special forces and pockets of paratroopers. The fact is that the armored columns descending from Belarus and the north to encircle Kiev are still far away, because they were held back by this incredible Ukrainian resistance. Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, has called for Russia's complete isolation, including embargoes on Russian crude oil purchases. I demand from the world, isolate Russia completely, expel ambassadors, oil embargo, destroy its economy, Kuleba said on Twitter. Separately, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for a decision on Ukraine's membership in the European Union. Estonia bans Russian airlines from entering its airspace. Estonia joined its Baltic neighbor Latvia, closing its airspace to Russian planes. Prime Minister Kaja Kallas urged other EU countries to do the same. Latvia has cancelled all flights to Russia, not just Russian airlines, until March 26. There are also restrictions in Poland, the United Kingdom, the Czech Republic and Bulgaria.